All right, good morning, everybody. Dee. Yes, it is. It's the familiar face of Mashiane. It's the familiar face of none other than Mdluli. And it's hopefully my familiar face this morning. It is Tuesday and the last day of January in 2023. Can you believe that? Good morning. Yeah, how's it, Mark? How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, Gareth? Good morning to all the listeners. Morning, Mash. Great to be on. Thanks for having me in this new era of CliffCentral.
Oh, you saw our new space yesterday. I don't know if you got a chance to watch. Oh,
I
okay.
did. I'm obsessed with it because when Dory asked me to do the show this morning, I was like, "Oh, am I gonna get to go to the house?" And she's like, "No, the studio's not ready yet." And I was like, "Oh man, well, I guess I'll do the show." But yeah, no, it's still awesome to be on. But I'm really, really looking forward to go to that house. Apparently, you guys have a pool.
Mm-hmm. No, we got it. Oh yeah. No,
Content for days, pool parties at CliffCentral House.
That's the plan. That's the plan. I mean, so I love it. It sort of looks like it looks like one of those Hollywood houses from like Malibu or South Beach.
Yes.
You know, it's like a California. It's like a Southern California type house.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. It's like very luxurious, very Joe Rogan.
Well, it's probably. I don't think it's to say too much, but like it is probably in the most expensive piece of land in Johannesburg because that whole area for about, what would you say, Mash, like 4 kilometers in kind of a
about
it's like
10-kilometer radius, just
maybe
in that area.
Maybe
okay, 5. Yeah, it's rich.
That's the richest square mile in Africa.
We're like walking distance from Sandton City, and I suppose people put that down as the epicenter, right? So
if we lived in CBD,
if we lived in New York and we were in Central Park, then we would be in walking distance of all the most expensive areas in New York. So I suppose it's like that. But we will be doing more specials like we did yesterday, which was a real win and a great experiment. And just congratulations again to the team who managed to get it all together. They were all
great.
They were all working hard and making sure that everything worked. And it was good to see kind of everything come together. And we had nice guests on yesterday. Brian Habana, Aki, Solomon from markets.com. We had a really fun show. So it was great for two reasons. It was great because, first of all, it was fun, obviously, to do the show from a new place. But also it was fun to do it with a client of ours. And we're going to be doing this with a lot of the people who work with us. And I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it really does look exciting. And can I just say, I know it might sound strange from a young person in entertainment, but I'm so proud of you, Gareth, and what you've done, man. Like from going to where you went to pioneering something, to it becoming successful, to it becoming cool as well. That's like legendary status. So, man, really, really well done. And I don't know if you know this, but CliffCentral is actually where my career started. I was doing a corporate job at the business center just across the road from you guys, or the old place. And I just hated it. Like my soul was dying. So I heard CliffCentral was down the road. So during my lunch break, I just walked over and I just went in and I didn't know what the vibe was, but there was no security. I was like, okay, I guess it's pretty chill. I guess it's pretty chill, not you? So I just walked up and I forgot who it was who greeted me. I don't know if it was Jane or Katlego. I think Kat still worked there. And I was like, no, I'm looking for a job. And she's like, I'm like, I'll do anything. I'll sweep the floors. I'll clean the bathrooms, whatever it takes. And she's like, oh, just take a seat. Would you like some water? Would you like some coffee? Somebody will be with you now. Guess who comes to be with me? It's fucking Rena Broomberg. And at that time, I didn't really know who she was. Like I had an idea, but I didn't know like the level of interview in inverted commas I was having at the time. And she literally asked me like, why do you think you'd be a good fit here? What have you done in entertainment? What education do you have? What work are you doing now? She literally like gave me an interview on the spot. And then I had a guest slot with Ari Kellerman. And then after that, yeah, she just gave me a show to try with the worst guys, and yeah, the rest is history. So I'm so
Well,
grateful for you and this platform.
you
It's been
you're,
real.
you're lucky. You're lucky you met her, because if you'd met with me, nothing would have happened.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. That's what I was actually nervous about. I was like, fuck, I hope she's not calling Gareth right now. I'm not ready for this. But Rena was honestly like the kindest soul ever. She was just honestly asking me like, "Are you really ready for this?" And it was a very good question to ask because this game is deep. But yeah, I'm really proud of you guys, and what a journey it's been, and how many memories from that old place. Oh my word!
Well, Pitleng is saying Mark Mdluli is always outside or on the road somewhere. There's something Greta Thunberg inside him.
Yeah, dog, I've got
Yo.
stuff to do. I've got stuff to do. Fishing. There's no
Oh,
time
you're
to
always
waste.
on. You're always
No,
on
but
the
the truth
way
is,
to somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Where are
the
you off
truth
to
is,
today? Yeah.
no, today I'm taking it easy. I'm taking it easy. Yesterday I had a comedy show, so I'm just gonna stay in today. The reason why I'm outside is because the signal is horrible inside, especially when load shedding hits. And I think our load shedding started at 6. So outside it's a bit better. We have a UPS, but it's like not as central to my room as the rest of the house. So yeah,
Oh.
I'm chilling outside. But I like the vibe. Makes me feel very South African. We'll hear the hardy
No,
dars
it's
now,
cool.
now.
I like it. And you know what? While it's summer and it's beautiful, you should be outside. I mean, soon.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
beautiful.
want to. I don't want to jinx things, but soon it's going to start getting darker and colder, and then before we know it, we're in
Yeah.
winter. So enjoy
100%.
every.
Yeah.
I love the summertime. I love the fact that the sun is only going down like 7:30. It makes me feel like I live in a movie. Yeah.
That is
Mm.
cool. Cool.
Yeah, but anyway, I was just saying about the memories of CliffCentral. Just one thing that I don't think we talk about enough that happened at those studios that I really think the world should know more about was that live sex or orgasm that Jonty Still
Oh
did.
no, everybody talks about that.
Oh,
Every
do they? Do they?
All the time.
I just feel like
yeah.
more people should know. That
No,
was
dude,
honestly the craziest experience I've ever had in my life. And I learned a lot. I still use what I learned to that day, to this
Oh
day.
yeah, of
So,
course.
wow.
Some people do. That's the only reason
Yeah.
some people have a sex life.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's the
this
only
is
reason
how
why.
you do it. Okay, okay.
Yeah. That's
All
the
right. No,
only
I
thing
was just
keeping
saying that was
some relationships alive. So.
So Mash, what's been happening with
Yeah.
you? Because we need an update. People always want to know what crazy shit's going down in your life, and because you've been so involved in the move and everything as well, maybe you didn't get up to any nonsense this weekend. But I'm fairly sure that there was some.
I did get up to a bit of nonsense. So this weekend was it was a really well balanced weekend. I had a bit of craziness and then a bit of just calm, some calm time as well. So I started off my weekend on Friday. I actually get home from the office and then I open my Instagram and I see a friend of mine in a pool and I realize that that's my pool. So I look out
Uh-oh.
the window and he's literally in the pool and he doesn't live in my complex. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize it's your complex. I was like,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
it is. So yeah, so I ended up just hanging out with
Was
this friend of mine.
it a
Yeah,
friend or was it a stalker? Because that sounds like a bit stalkery.
it's actually quite a close friend of mine. And he said
Okay.
absolutely nothing. So I was like, okay, very weird. Well, you just come to my place and just jump in the pool without saying anything to me, but it's fine. And I ended up
So the
hanging out with him.
close friend of yours. Hang on. Close friend of yours, but they don't know that you live there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
So he was actually visiting some other friends of his who live in the complex as well. And I ended up
Okay.
hanging out with them. And we hung out, load shedding started, and the one guy is like, the guy my friend was visiting is like, listen, let's go to my place, hang out, whatever. Cool, we go to his place to hang out. And as we get there, he opens the door. I turn on my flash because it doesn't have the load shedding light, the magneto.
Yeah.
Which is weird, which is a weird thing for me. Like everybody should have one of those. But cool, we turn on our flashes and I just see little dots of brown and black just moving on the ground. And it's cockroaches, just so many cockroaches.
Jesus.
I I was so disgusted, and I tried my best to be as polite as possible. I really did, but I just stormed out. I
So
just stormed out screaming.
This is inside the people's apartment.
Yes, this is inside the guy's apartment. We got to his place and it was just cockroaches running around. So I saw the first cockroach, I forgave it, started stomping on it with some other girl that we were with. We just started stomping on it. And then cool, we killed it. And then another one just ran past in the other direction. Started stomping on that one as well. And then after we stomped on that, I saw another piece of black moving along the ground. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go. It's time to go. So I don't know if this was rude because my friend's been texting me going like, that was really rude of you. How dare you? Like, you don't even know my friend. But I just stormed out saying, you know what, fuck this shit. I ain't gone hang out with cockroaches. And I never came back. So I want to find out, was this rude of me? Or how would you guys deal with this situation?
First of all, if people have like an infestation of cockroaches, and you said you saw a whole bunch of them, you stood on like 3. Usually it's dirty people. I mean, you know, you're not cleaning up after your kitchen. You're leaving a lot of stuff lying around. That's where the cockroaches come from. And listen, I mean, even really clean people do have, you know, like 1 or 2 cockroaches every now and then because they live around us. They're in our houses and everything. But if they are running around on the floor the whole time and they just get to do what they want, it's because you're a dirty person and you don't clean up.
Exactly.
100%. I agree with that 100%. Cockroaches only come to where there's dirt. It becomes a haven for them.
Right.
So now they're basically like, this place is chilled like this. Okay, guys, let's bring some more people. Yo, there's a party up in this guy's house.
I want to quickly say, Mark was talking about Katlejo, and here she is. She's in the comments. I hope to come back to CliffCentral someday after my travels. She's busy traveling. She's on like ships, and So, Kat, it would be lovely to see you. And when you are around,
really good. What a throwback! Shout out, Kat.
You just mentioned her when.
What are the odds? No, but Mash, don't feel bad, dog. Don't feel bad. No, you had every right. You had every right. Because now he's gonna give you beverages in a dirty glass.
Cockroaches are just sitting in the damn glass, and then I'm gonna drink out of it. And you know,
you and the cockroaches.
For me, there are degrees of comfort when it comes to such infestations. And for example, as soon as a light comes on and you just see a cockroach vanish under the fridge as fast as possible, it means it's uncomfortable in your home. But if lights come on and they're just lazing around, shaking their booties, just walking slowly through a lounge,
cockroaches are twerking in this guy's house.
Exactly. It means they're comfortable. And why are they comfortable? Because you allow them to be. So you live together. It's like a communal living of you and your cockroaches. That is why I was disgusted. Absolutely no sense of urgency from these cockroaches.
Yeah, that's so gross. Ugh, that's so disgusting. Oh my God.
Absolutely disgusting. So I'm never going back there again. And I don't care if I'm called rude or anything, but it was just disgusting.
Doesn't it worry you these people live in your complex, so they could be spreading the cockroaches to other parts of the complex where you live?
They can never spread it to my part of the complex. I take precautionary measures for such things. And that's what made me even more mad is that, Gareth, there's so many things we can do to prevent cockroaches or to even get rid of them. And the solutions are cheap. They cost as little as 50 Rand. There was some powder I got from at the taxi rank some years ago when I lived in Germiston. Powder cost like 15 Rand. I put it around the house and I had no more cockroaches. There's a cream that you can get from Checkers. It costs 50 Rand. You just spread it, you just put it in like small dark crevices in your house and it prevents cockroaches. There are things that you can do that cost little minuscule amounts of money. You don't have to be rich in order to actually utilize these solutions. So the fact that you still have cockroaches with such cheap solutions available means that it is your own fault. You are a dirty person. There's no excuse.
No, you speak nothing but facts, Mash. Nothing but facts.
So, and if I see a cockroach in your home, not just one, but if
Not
I see
one.
multiple, if I see an infestation, a pool party, a pool party of cockroaches, then I'm gonna have a problem and storm out and never come back.
Tracy says cockroaches can live without their heads for 7 days or something.
What? Sis, man. Hi, sis. Hi,
what are you doing for those 7 days? Like,
pool party. Hi.
Ruth says, I once went to feed someone's pets one evening when they were away. These cockroaches were so big, when you turned on the light, the one turned around and said, "Hey, baby, can I help you?" They didn't scatter or run or anything. Sibanda
I'm
says
the captain now.
Yeah, exactly. Sibanda says an ex of mine had big fat rats in her apartment. They would stare at me.
Like, not pets, like just rats chilling. There's no way she means like wild rats. If that's it's not. Surely it was a pet. Surely. I don't believe that there are human beings just chilling with rats. Okay, they can be, but that's next level. Cockroaches is one thing, but rats, I burn the house down.
Yeah, rats are a big fat no. When I was looking for a place to stay, there was a place that I looked at. I'm not gonna name it, but it's somewhere northern Joburg side. And this place, so Hello Peter is my best friend. Google reviews are my best friend. I use Hello Peter for everything, restaurants, everything. You gotta know the bad, because most of these places, you see beautiful photos on Google Maps, on Waze, wherever, on their website, and you think it is popping until you get there and you realize that they've rats the size of humans trying to spank your butt and shit. So you need to make sure. And that's why Hello Peter is my best friend right now. And when I came across this place that I wanted to move to, before choosing this place that I'm in right now, I checked this place out on Hello Peter, and everybody was complaining about one of two things. First one was the noise levels. They said that, listen, this place is really occupied by young people. There's a varsity college or something nearby. So all those people are all up in here, and we don't have any peace of mind. And secondly, there's construction. So there's always rats, and the rats are the size of humans. And these rats are so comfortable that they don't run away when they see you. They'll just walk up to you and be like, "Hey, baby." Exactly. So that was the second thing. Oh, there was another thing. The third thing, actually, my deal breaker for this place, the rats were kind of my deal breaker. But the final nail in the coffin was the fact that they cut costs with the construction, and lots of apartments use the same lock and key mechanism, meaning you share the same key with most of your neighbors.
Oh, no. That's no good.
People are just walking into other people's apartments. That's where I drew the line.
And they mentioned all of this in the reviews.
In the reviews, all of this was mentioned. But on the website, Gareth, on the Instagram page, it's beautiful. This place is stunning. It's like a lifestyle estate with a spa and a gym and a restaurant. It is beautiful. You would never in a million years think that, there's rats the size of humans and there is people just walking into each other's apartments. You might just be sitting there one day watching TV and somebody wanders in. Just hear the door unlock and somebody wanders in. And some people's reviews actually said that. People actually experienced that people are just wandering into their apartments. So I decided, no, I am not going to try this place out. And hence, I am here today. Thank goodness.
Nash is on fire this morning. I mean, we're finding out about long-standing problems with the complex and the neighbor with the roaches. And
no, but it's valid points. It's valid points. There's these things that you're bringing up, just things we can't live with. Just no,
you can't.
Unbelievable.
You can't.
Well,
in life,
Dogozo says, I had to share a living space with some roaches for a month when I was an intern. It was the roaches or homelessness. Well, I mean, sometimes you're not, sometimes in some places, when you get these really big, really ferocious ones, they're in charge of the apartment. You are just their tenant. So you have to you have to treat the roaches like they are the landlord. Honestly. Zanele says, I visited a guy and had roaches walking on me. The only reason I didn't leave is because I couldn't go back to my father's house at 3 a.m. Oh my God. Yes.
I'll take the beating from my father. I'll just tell my father, Dad, I fucked up, dog. Like, I wouldn't be able to stand there, Dad. I know it's 3 a.m., but you can punish me tomorrow. No ways. I'm like going through that, like just holding strong.
And Zanella, sweetie, I
This
don't
woman
blame
must have
you.
a scary father, dude.
I don't blame you, Zanella, sweetie. The thing is, you can't tell with these roach people. They look just like you and I. In fact, they look better than you and I.
They look
They
just like
look
us.
amazing. They smell good until you get to their homes. That's the problem. So you have to actually do the dirty work to find out.
This is what a lot of people get away with. You see, a lot of people, they might have a nice car, they might dress really well, they might they might be really presentable, amazing people. They might have very high-powered jobs. They might be impressive in the workplace. And then when you see how they live, you're like, what kind of person? That is one of the reasons that the only show that I sometimes will stay watching if it comes on, because I'm not looking for shows to watch, but that show Come Dine With Me?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so one of the reasons I love watching that show is not for the food. I couldn't care less how they cook or any of that stuff, or even for the bitchiness, because people are like, I thought she overdid the souffle or whatever. I could care less about that stuff. But the reason I like watching that show is to see how people live. Because let me tell you something. You can be poor, you can have very little money, but you're clean and you have a clean house and you live decently like a decent person, or you can be a filthy, dirty slob, and you can have all the money in the world, but you don't clean up after you or any of that stuff. You know what I mean, right?
The cleanest people I've met are from Emakaya in the township, where it's really like the worst of the worst in terms of finances, but it's spick and span. Their shoes whiter than my shoes have ever been before, and they're using the Sunlight Green bar soap. There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
My dad once visited me at my previous place. I've told you about my previous place, Gareth. It was a cardboard box, and the walls are so thin that if someone sneezed next door, you'd hear "bless you" coming from next door. And this place was quite a cockroach fest. But thank goodness, so I only encountered one cockroach in my stay there. I stayed there for about a year and a year only. And I only encountered one cockroach. After I encountered it, I got the product. I got that 15 Rand powder from the taxi rank. I got the 50 Rand stuff from Checkers, the gel. I got precautionary measures. I actually took action as soon as I came across a single cockroach. But my dad once visited me there. And as he arrived, he saw a cockroach in the corridor. And he's like, yo, Mashiani, I just saw a cockroach in your corridor, hey, leaving someone's apartment. Yalla, rich here. And my dad's whole thinking has always been, cockroaches are where rich people are. Poor people don't have cockroaches. Go to the township, you will never see a cockroach. But come to Sandton, every 2 minutes, just a damn cockroach.
It's because they have all the leftovers. They have leftover food in Sandton. In the hood, they eat all the food, dog. There's no crumbs lying around.
Here's an interesting point from Carl. Carl says that you realize on 2, 3, and 4 lever locks, there are only about 60 different keys that you can get for all those locks. So in most places, if it's a 2, 3, and 4 lever lock, you have to get a gate, because otherwise there will be someone else in the complex who has the same front door key that you have.
Gee whiz. That is
something
very worrying.
But also, who's walking around trying other people's doors?
Exactly. It's the kind of people.
Like, how do you find out yours is the one that open mashes the room? You have to experiment. Go through every house until I got it. No thanks.
No, I love these people on Come Dine With Me, and Dogozo agrees with me. Like, because you see how they live, what kind of kitchen they have, and you see like people who have the washing piled up in the passage in a big box, and they've got their shoes lying all over the floor, and you could see that they haven't cleaned. There's like a dishcloth lying in the place where they cut up their food and all that kind of thing. Some dirty ass people out there. They really are filthy, filthy people.
It's
And
scary. That's why.
what's most worrying is when they don't even realize they're being filthy because that's just a norm to them.
Right.
And they're just like
Yeah.
they on the show bragging and just living their best lives with damn dirt all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I keep saying we shouldn't have given up on the sanitizers in public spaces. Like, I
Yeah.
get COVID is over, but let's keep sanitizers at the entries of all shops, please, and let's sanitize the trolleys just forevermore, please, guys.
Yeah.
But good quality sanitizer, Mark. Good quality, not that bad quality that makes your hands smell like shit and dries them out.
Yeah, no, you don't want the doop
Yeah.
doop. You want that.
Yeah, the good shit. You want the good shit at the doors.
This is a hell of a way to wake up on a Tuesday morning. All right, so listen, Mark, you have been caught out crying on TV. What is about? What happened?
No, so here's the thing. My friends and I, we've always talked about this because, like, obviously, we've had a vision and a plan to make it one day. Mama made it. So I'm on SABC One on the show called Renovation. We chatted about it a while ago. And we do construction, right? So
Yes.
it's usually like quite a sob story that enters. Something happened in somebody's family, and they were saving up for renovation, but then the matriarch or the patriarch died, and now they can't do it anymore, or whatever the case might be. So anyway, before I get back to that, what I was saying about my team is like we were like, whatever happens, if ever you get on TV, just don't ever cry on TV. I know there's this new age thing that men can cry, but honestly, no, people don't like it. You become a meme like Will Smith if you cry on TV, or
Right.
Kanye West, or any man who's actually cried on TV.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, that's never happening in my life. But the most incredible thing happened on the episode, and this episode is actually playing next week on SABC One at 9 p.m. So this story, the matriarch had cataracts in her eyes, and it just got progressively worse over time until she was eventually blind. So the family was saving up for the renovation, or saving up for the operation rather, so they couldn't afford the renovation that they still also wanted to do because their house was in a bad state. Also, lots of cockroaches. But you'll see that in the episode if you watch. That's how I know for sure this cockroach story. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is my director calls his eye doctor to
Yeah.
see what they can do for her. And the eye doctor sponsors her eye surgery.
Yeah.
So it's a 42,000 Rand procedure. She's getting it done for free. She still gets to keep the money that they were saving for the operation, and they still got their house renovated. So on the last day, the reveal day is when the family gets to see the house. So she just walked in and she could see for the first time. They literally took the bandages off that day. So the last time she saw a house, it was a mess. There were cockroaches everywhere. The walls were brown. And she just got her sight, and she's able now to see her new, beautiful, renovated home. And it was just like the look in her eye was too much, man. I couldn't help it. But it wasn't even like a Denzel Washington one tear cry. It was like a
You did a proper.
like they have to cut, you know. And so I asked the crew. I was like, guys, please don't show me crying on TV. It's like, no, Mark, we got you good, bro. We even zoomed in.
Well, two things. First of all, that is embarrassing because real men shouldn't be crying on TV. Second of all, and we are going to watch the episode so we can cut the meme out and use it against you forevermore.
Please,
Mark,
just spare me.
Just a quick observation. If they hadn't fixed her eyes, you could have pretended to fix the house and she wouldn't have known any better. And then just save money on the operation and save money on the renovation. I'm just saying.
Look at your new things, but just feel the walls. I promise you, they're a different color. But the reason why that wouldn't really work is because like we actually do things to help the family functionally. So before we confirmed that she was going to get the surgery. Like instead of just tiles, we'd make a path of flip tiles, so like carpet. So in the middle of the tiles in the passageway, there'd be carpet towards the bathroom, so she feels her way to the bathroom. But then the doctor said, "You need surgery." So yeah, but now as you can see, so that carpet we just said is a feature. We did this on purpose because it looks cool. So we kind of like doing an exhibit thing where if you like carrots, we'll put a vegetable garden in your boot, kind of thing.
Mash, can you imagine this
Mark,
guy? Imagine this guy
Yeah.
pitching to renovate your house and like doing stupid shit like that you don't need. I mean, this is exactly why you don't get Mark Mdluli as your contractor.
Guys, I'm so
yeah,
good at this
there's a
stuff, guys.
reason.
I'm even gonna renovate my own house. Yo, I promise you, I
Oh,
promise you, Gareth. I'm coming
Bona.
to your house. And the CliffCentral house, I'm gonna be the construction guy. Whatever you guys need, I've got you. I've got you.
Keep him away, Mash. You can't let him mirror
Good luck, Gareth. Good luck, Rina. Good luck.
Luana, man,
Yeah.
I'm coming to your house, dog. I'm telling you.
Look, my
Cornices,
house is fine,
downlighting,
Mark.
rendering. I know all the lingo. I know it.
But Mark, I want
Yes,
to find
man.
out. So this show, right, on this show, and this woman, who was she staying with? Because she was blind, she had to have had some sort of assistance.
Yeah, it's a family. It's a family. So she's the matriarch of the family. She still has a husband. His name is Jeff. Really, really cool guy. And that's the thing about this family. They're like 17 people living in this tiny ass house. There's also another room in the back. Like, it was a family that just had too many children. It's a problem in the Black community. It's like when you poor, the only thing you can do is have sex and make babies, even though you can't afford
That's
them,
true.
Yeah, so that was the
That's
kind of
the
situation here.
hobby. Yeah.
So yeah, there were plenty of people in her life and in her family, and it was really kind, like loving, warm family. But yeah, that moment was just
doesn't matter, you little bitch. You cried.
You see, this is the problem now. Forevermore, I'm a bitch. It's done. It's on TV. I can't even lie. I can't even pretend like it didn't happen. Oh,
God. I know we've been through this thing where people are encouraged to share their feelings and their sub stories, and
nope.
I know that's been a thing for like maybe the last 10, 15 years on TV, and all we've seen for 10, 15 years is like this one sad story, that one sad story, this one crying, this one letting it all hang out, this one talking about their failed relationships, this one being vulnerable, all of that stuff. I'm over it now. I want to see people being strong. I want to see people being tough. I want to see men getting on TV and going, what? When someone says, tell me about your feelings. How do you feel? I want men to sit there and go, What are you talking about?
Fuck your feelings. I want you to break a shoulder and still keep working. That type of shit, man. I'm so over this like anti-masculine idea because masculinity is toxic. No, being strong is great. Being a man is great. Being tough is great. Being a fighter is great. These are all things that the world respects in general. So no more nyash nyash. It's okay to cry. No, stop crying. Be a man.
If you want to,
of course.
You want to be vulnerable, you go ahead and do it. But we need a balance. All I'm saying is, it's now.
You shifted too far.
It's been a lot of this crying and being vulnerable and for girls and for guys. It's not just for guys. I think people have just had, it's like up to here now. If you were an alien and you started watching TV in the last 10 years, you would think, what a bunch of whiny, complaining
as bitches, dog. Like, these guys just whine all the time.
Right. And that's all they show these days. When last did you watch a show and you go, wow, that is a hard man or woman. That is a tough person there. That's the kind of person I want on my side in a zombie apocalypse. Because if you watch TV,
that I'd go to war with.
Most of these people, I wouldn't want them. They would be such a drag on my zombie apocalypse team. They would hold us back. We would be eaten.
Oh, he's a vegan. He doesn't eat meat. Now he can't kill the squirrel. God. No, I'm so over that idea entirely.
The idea of masculinity. The idea of masculinity has just become so diluted because of this. Mostly because of social media, and also men are not men in particular, but everyone is so scared of being cancelled. And when people hear the conditions of being cancelled nowadays, just speaking your mind, number one, just not showcasing your emotions, just being strong, especially as a man, because nowadays women are strong and men need to be vulnerable. Men need to share their feelings and just cry together and do like a group hug all the time. That is what is expected from men nowadays. And as a
No.
result, I mean, we just end up with a whole bunch of simps. And I'm always telling Simpiwe, even in the office, that, hi, man, because Simpiwe is going on all these dates, meeting these men. I'm like, that man's a simp, Simpiwe. He's a simp. You can't be with such a man. Yeah.
Fuck your feelings, because you know what I truly feel about it is that the world is tough. It's a tough place just as a given. Prima facie, on the face of it, it's tough.
Yeah.
So it's either you're going to whine and complain and cry, or you're going to be tougher than it. And I think that's why we're also going through a lot of like depression and stuff in our generation, because our generation hasn't accepted the toughness of life. It's almost like, oh, it's so tough. Oh, my feelings. Now I must just kill myself because I can't be tougher than it. But no, you can be tougher than the toughness. That's what I believe.
What you got to remember is that every person who's telling a sad story, there's going to have to be some poor son of a bitch who's listening to that sad story. And most people, they've got their own shit to deal with. You dig deep enough, even with the most confident, happy person. If you sit with them for long enough, they'll tell you, I've got no money. Or they'll say to you, my partner hates me, or sex life is really bad, or there's always something to moan about.
Oh shit, I'm leaving.
Like you can complain, and South Africans are good at complaining. I mean, we start with load shedding and then we work our way down. Yeah. So you know what it's like.
We the best.
Everybody's got some shit going on. Everybody's got some bad relationship, some health problem, some financial issue. Everybody. So I feel like there are too many of us talking about that stuff, and there are not enough people who actually want to listen to that shit because they've got their own problems. So next time you start to talk about your problems, like this one, this happened a long time ago. It was like a year or so ago. But I remember this friend of mine, and I sent him a message like, hey, you asshole, or whatever, because this is how I talk to my friends, right? And he replied with this like, oh, that's no way to greet someone. I've been going through a tough blah, 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 blah. And I listened to this, and he sent like a paragraph on, I think it was either on Instagram or on Facebook Messenger, or one of those things. And I hadn't spoken to him for a while, so I didn't know what he was going through. And frankly, I don't care because it's not my problem. But then he starts going into this thing of, I've got post-traumatic stress disorder from this thing that happened and blah, 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 blah. But it's like a fat paragraph like this. And eventually I go, hey, man, listen, sorry, didn't know about all of this stuff. But it seems to me like it's become very hard work to talk to you, check you out. And I'm like, I'm out. And then I blocked this person, and I thought, I don't need that. That's like heavy lifting. And I didn't get into, that's not a friendship I care enough about to be doing heavy lifting. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing the them, they, there. Hey, it's you, dog. I'll call you by a name, and that's it. I'm so over all you woke people. Fuck all of you. I'm done. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to carry on.
This guy has grown up in a world where he has been led to believe that people are going to pay careful attention to him, ask him about his problems, cry with him, tell him how he's going to be okay. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm a horrible, heartless person, but I do not give enough of a fuck to get involved in this guy's post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, problems with family, attention from people he doesn't know. I don't give a shit. Sorry. Don't have
nobody does. There are 8 billion of us, guy. There are 8 billion of you.
If he was one of my very close friends, or he was family, or then maybe I'd make the effort. But Jesus, I mean, I saw your face, Mash, while I'm telling the story. I don't think I was unfair.
You were not unfair at all, Gareth. We all have problems. And this weekend also made me realize that there are people with real damn problems. So I was planning to do treetop adventures this weekend with some friends. And unfortunately, they all flaked. So I ended up not doing it. But all of them had shitty reasons. Okay, not all of them, but some of them had very shitty reasons, while some of them had very good reasons. One of my friends is actually an actor on some new Netflix series, and he had to go to the premiere. So he was like, oh, crap, I didn't realize that the time actually overlapped, so I can't come through. I was like, okay, cool. And then another one of my friends calls me, video calls me, which is odd because with video calls, you have to notify me first. I answer this video call and he has white patches on his eyes. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? He's like, oh, I'm blind at the moment.
What?
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. Sorry, man. I just saw the comment there, Mark. You still cried. I can't escape this anymore. Sorry. I'm just I died.
This guy, was he permanently or temporarily blind?
He was temporarily blind. He went for a surgery because he found out that he has some degenerative eye disease, and it is hereditary, and it had to be done urgently, or else apparently he was going to go blind. So he went for this surgery, and he didn't tell me. He was like, I didn't think that this was going to be the consequences. Well, he didn't think to ask, I suppose. So he was blind, and that's when I realized that, damn, this is like a really good excuse to not do something. And it's been a while since I've actually heard a worthwhile excuse from someone to not do something. So there you go, people. Go blind if you want to miss something in the future.
If you want something to complain about, you can do stuff.
You want some genuine sympathy? Like, go for an operation where they're trying to restore your sight because you're going blind. I mean, you deserve it. Then, again, like, perfectly healthy people. Even if you've got a lot of challenges to deal with on a daily basis, you really shouldn't be looking for sympathy and expecting people to cry.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. If you are healthy and you have a bed and food, you're done. You're done. Everything else is psychological. It's in your head. But you can breathe, you can sleep in a warm place, and you have food in your tummy. You're in paradise, guy. Everything else is your ego.
Wow. Now this I love, and this is in the news. This morning is that people are talking about Novak Djokovic and how fantastic he was at the Australian Open. But the most important part of this is the way that he absolutely did not bend to the will of all those people who said he must get the vaccine. He refused to get it. He said, I already had COVID. I don't need the vaccine. I have a natural immunity because I've already had the disease. And all of these stupid countries, I mean, the United States, Australia, they said, well, then you can't play tennis here. So he couldn't play last year, which meant he had to forego having the tie record for the best record ever at the Aussie Open. Anyway, he went back this year and he fucked it up. And he stood there and he raised that trophy, and it was a big middle finger to the Australians who tried to keep him out. This guy is a champion, and he didn't have to throw away his principles in order to be at the Australian Open and win. So I just want to say I'm a big fan of Novak Djokovic. He's a hero for doing what he did. I am still bitter about having taken the vaccine. If I could go back, I would have done it. And good for him, because he's a stronger man. Well done, Novak Djokovic.
For real, he didn't bend to the pressure. He didn't go out and apologize for being a human being. Man, I'm so proud of that guy, because fuck apologizing, man. You guys, you're not human. Get out of here. Get out of here. It's people who are looking for a way to feel good about themselves without actually doing anything.
Propaganda says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So cry. It's like a good fart, and then move on.
Okay, there is that other side of it. I mean, it is a genuine emotion. So I'm not saying press it down and pretend you're not feeling those things, but don't come with that. I'm a crier. I just love to cry. I'm over it. No. Some things you don't need to cry about, guy. Just breathe, and you'll be fine.
Letukolo is saying Mash is going to make Mark cry with all these stories about blindness and everything. Because he cries now like a little bit all the time.
No, I feel like I shouldn't have mentioned this, guys. Okay, don't watch the show on Thursday, guys. I don't want to be a meme. Rather, just look at me now. I'll show you guys my biceps. It's fine. I'm a man. I'm a real man. I promise.
Yeah, he says with his shirt still on. All right. So Zach says, good morning, GCS people. It's been a while since I joined in live. Gareth, I caught up with yesterday's show. Your lounge looked better than ENCA's new studios grand opening. Yeah, well, I mean, look, obviously, we're still figuring out a lot of things with the sound and technically what we can do. And our actual studio is still being built. That's going to be very cool once it's in. But we're moving as fast as we can. And all I can say is it's been a really busy January. So look forward to loads of things happening in February, March, April, May, all the way through to the end of the year. It's going to be a busy year. It's great. Ad B also says, I also regret taking it. Our employer forced us. Yeah. Those employers have got to, they've got to come and account for themselves, because we've subsequently found out that this vaccine is not like a vaccine. You know, when people told us about the vax in the beginning, they were like, it's a vaccine. But actually it isn't, because a vaccine is like the one you get for polio or measles, mumps, and rubella. You get it, and that means you can't get the disease. With COVID, that was never the case. It's like a flu shot more than a vaccine. Well, you get the flu shot. Sometimes you'll get the flu. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes it helps certain people. It doesn't help other people. So we shouldn't even be using the word vaccine, because then you do get anti-vaxxers. You know, you get these crazy people who won't give their children any vaccines at all, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, and they can get very, very sick. And I think that's dangerous. But this thing is not a vaccine. And I think the people who were forced to do it, I feel sorry for them. And I feel, even though you might not have any adverse health, if I haven't had any adverse health effects, I don't feel like it's hurt me in any way. But I don't like being forced to do things. The minute you force me to do things, I'm angry with you. Anyway.
And you don't want to do it, even if you were gonna do it anyways.
Right. Right.
No,
so
the worst part was the fight. I remember in the beginning when the pandemic first happened, because people are so attracted to fear, your ordinary person. So when you were rebelling against, because my first feeling was like, this is weird, guys. Like, this is so strange that somebody's telling me where I can and can't move, what I can and can't do. That just on the basis of the idea is weird. Like, even if it's to protect me, which I still have my doubts about. But like you, Gareth, I hate people telling me what to do. But in that beginning, you were such a anti-society person, if I may call it that.
No, they called us.
You're a granny killer. Oh, you don't care about people. It's like, God, guys.
Despite the fact that I got the vaccine myself in, what was it, September of 2020, or somewhere around there. I can't remember, but I got it. And then, because I needed to travel the next year, and someone came into CliffCentral, some doctor who should be ashamed of themselves, and they said, when they called, they actually canceled their appearance on one of the other shows. It wasn't even on my show, because they said, oh no, Gareth Cliff's an anti-vaxxer. They went after me when I got the vaccine, and I wasn't saying on the air, you shouldn't get this thing. Why would I say that and then go and get it myself? Anyway, I remember this, and I thought, what a son of a bitch. This person calling me. I mean, you remember
just creating his own narrative.
Do you remember how people were saying horrible things about, like, oh, well, if you don't have the vax, you shouldn't be treated in a hospital, for example, and all that stuff? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those people should account for themselves and be ashamed of their behavior, because we've subsequently, the drug companies themselves are saying this thing never prevented transmission. Remember how many people they strong-armed into doing this, because they said, if you don't do this, you're going to give other people the disease. Turns out the vaccine didn't stop that anyway. So a lot of us went and did it because we thought, well, last thing we want to do is infect other people. That would be wrong. So we went and did it. And turns out that's not what it did anyway. You know?
Yeah.
And I find it crazy how these companies, they force people to take the vaccine, the likes of this game, how we seem to have just forgotten how these employees were treated in that time period.
Right.
Yeah, I must admit, I felt like a pariah in that time, because I say it now, but I didn't that there. But I haven't taken the vaccine, but that's because I've got a really good immune system, like slave genes kind of thing. So I never did, but I felt like such a social pariah at the time. Like, I even lied to people because the pressure was so like real. Like, obvious. Like, that's why I respect Djokovic so much, because he's like, you know what, fuck everybody. I should have been like that, but I was like, yo, I got it, faster for me, that Johnson. But I didn't get it, dude. It was a wild time, because the social pressure was unbelievable, and that's why I'm kind of getting to a place where, like, fuck the imaginary world that exists on the internet. There's stuff happening right here in real life that is real and hard to deal with and is enough to deal with. I don't have to deal with this other made up universe where we all have this same idea, but it's not really. We're just staying to the same idea so we don't feel excluded. Nah, I'm excluded, Oaks. I'm an outsider. It's fine.
Well, listen, I just want to quickly, before we get to 7 o'clock, I want to talk about that interview that I did last week, which was really wild. It's this true crime story. Mash, I don't know if you got a chance to see it over the weekend.
Wait, and the murder that shocked Britain.
Okay, yeah. So
that changed Britain. I think that's what it called.
Yeah, that's right. The murder that changed Britain. So it's a CBS original that we spoke about last week. It aired exclusively on CBS Justice, which is DSTV channel 170. I know you're a big fan of like true crime stuff. I'm not really, but I mean, this story is pretty gripping. It's also available on Catch Up for those people who missed it. So I spoke to a guy called Professor Paul Britton, who was the forensic psychologist who was involved in this case. And he has kept his silence for 30 years. And he suddenly came out and told the whole story about the murder of Rachel Nickel, and it was fascinating. They reunited this investigator with the guy who was wrongfully accused. I mean, the show is just scary, scary stuff.
Gareth, poor Colin Stagg is all I can say about that. And I just wanted to bust in while you were talking to Mr. Britton and just ask, like, why 30 years? Why did you keep quiet for an entire 30 years? I have so many questions. Gareth, I just have stress thinking about this show. I just have stress. And Bona, Operation Edel. Operation Edel. I have questions galore.
This is a hell of a story. So it all happened back in 1992, which, believe it or not, is 30 years ago. And this woman was murdered in Wimbledon in London. Her 2-year-old son watched the whole thing, and her death would lead to this incredible investigation and one of the most terrible miscarriages of justice. In case you didn't see the interview, you can go and listen to my discussion with Professor Britton, which is available on podcast right here on CliffCentral.com. But what I suggest you do is you also watch this amazing show, The Murder That Changed Britain, which is on CBS Justice. That's DSTV channel 170. It's really, really wild. And there's a lot there. They're still digging stuff up. There's some unsolved parts of this that nobody's talking about. There's if Colin wasn't the murderer, who was the murderer? It's very confusing.
Gareth, it took them 16 years to find the real killer. And during the investigation, they charged this poor guy. And it's just so disheartening, and it just makes me angry. Just watching it made me so mad. Just so mad. Mara, it's something that everybody should be checking out. Bona, CBS reality got us sorted. They got us sorted.
Well, I've told you before, one of the things I can't stand is that there are these stories of wrongfully accused people who end up going to jail for a long time, or they put them to death with a death penalty in countries where that's the thing. And I just always, I can't watch these things properly. I got into like a quarter of this documentary and I had to stop watching, because when I know that someone's going to jail and it's not their fault and they didn't do anything and they're wrongfully accused, it drives me up the wall. I can't watch movies like that. I remember watching that Green Mile. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, the Green Mile.
Oh my God. That movie still sits in my head and drives crazy. When I think about all these true crime things where it can go so horribly wrong, drives me crazy. Can't watch it.
That just makes me angry, and I love being angry. That's the problem. That is the problem.
You're such a South African, Mash.
Well, if you want to watch it,
something,
it is the Murder That Changed Britain, and there's been this 30-year scapegoating of the investigative officer. Misinformation, just fake lies, nonsense. You can watch it all on DSTV Catch Up, and it's worth having a look at if you go and check that out. It's still on Catch Up now. All right, so Mash is here. We're also here with Mark Mdluli, and we will catch up on a whole bunch more in the next little while. Got some guests popping in. We've got a busy Tuesday morning, so stick around. The last day of January 2023 already. First month of the year gone. Out of there. And we've got to talk about this just now. Mash wants to talk about these pots. This.
I can't wait.
That's coming right up, so don't go anywhere. CliffCentral.com. Good morning on this excellent Tuesday. Things to do, people to see, places to go.
This week on the AutoTrader Podcast.
But one of the things that you kind of spotlighted last year was buyers are going to be spending less time in physical dealerships and moving more online. Do you think that's something that actually happened? Do you see that happening more?
I don't think dealerships are going to go away.
Yeah.
Especially with used cars. Maybe new will move in that direction faster or more than used. But the thing about a used car is it's not a commodity. Every single used car in the market is a unique item on its own. One VW GTI is not the same as another used VW GTI. It's got different mileage, slightly different specs, different color maybe, different interior. It's
not like going to take a lot, right? And
exactly
ordering the same thing.
So in that world, I don't think dealerships will go anywhere, especially in the used car environment. Maybe to a certain degree the new. I mean, we've already seen that the number of dealership visits per consumer came down to about 1.6 at one stage.
Yeah.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Just because it's about technology, connecting your business to the rest of the world doesn't mean you need to send rockets to space and use complicated solutions. Want to simplicate things? Well, join Jaco Voigt, who is the CEO of Catalytic, on the Unbundled podcast. With skin in the game and a keen focus on educating and assisting you and your business, Jaco decodes all the aspects of connectivity, security, and cloud solutions. Unbundled is brought to you by Catalytic and is available on CliffCentral.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Right. Good morning, CliffCentral.com. It's Tuesday. We've got Mash on the line. We've got Mark Mdluli. It is all happening this Tuesday morning. We've got lots to talk about as well. Is that tea, coffee, or is that brandy that you got there, Mark? You started to sip on.
I wish it was brandy, but it was coffee. It's coffee, actually. My second cup for the morning. No, I don't drink in the morning anymore. That was 20-year-old me things. I'm 30 now. I woke up this morning with back pain, legitimately. Like, even getting this coffee was a struggle. I was like, what's going on?
Back pain. How old are you?
I just turned 30. You just mentioned 1992. I was born in 92. So, yeah, 30 years old. And ever since, my knees have been going to shit. My lower back right now is a mess. I can't drink 2 days in a row. I hate it, Gareth. Growing old is a bummer. I don't know how you do it.
You're a disaster.
No.
Mash, is yours coffee or is it something else?
I'm just having a cup of coffee, my black roast. Yeah, that's about it. All
right.
I get it. Yeah, you know that picture of the pots. I actually want to elaborate on that a bit.
Yes. We need to get to let's get to the pots. So Mash, explain the story for us, and then I'll show the picture again. This is horrible.
So there's a girl on Twitter who tweeted a picture, a screenshot of the price of a set of pots that she bought. I think she bought them online. And then she posted a picture side by side of the pots themselves after she got them and started using them. Now the picture, it's a set of about, I think, a set of like 4 to 6 pots, and it's non-stick pots, and they look really good in the picture. And she got them for 300 Rand. 300 Rand. And then in the second picture, it's a picture of the pots, and they don't even look non-stick anymore. The black has just completely washed off. So she posted this complaining on Twitter, and people were like, wait a minute, you got a set of pots, non-stick pots for 300 Rand. It actually says they're 7 piece. You got 7 pots for 300 Rand. 7 non-stick pots. Yeah?
That should have been the first red flag.
Exactly. So after this happened, people were attacking her and trashing her in the comments, saying that, come on, baby girl, did you really think it was good pots for 300 Rand? 7 of them. So if you actually divide 300 Rand by 7, it means each pot is about 60 bucks. And you still went for it. So people started trashing her for that.
I feel sorry for her. First of all, I love the way everyone on social media is so clever. They would never make a mistake. Of course, some of them, when they do make a mistake, they're not going to put it online. They're not going to post it. They know they should be embarrassed, so they shut up and they hide away and they don't share this stuff. I feel sorry for her. First of all, I don't know what pots should cost because I don't cook often enough. And I know there are people who sell very expensive pots. You get these hugely expensive ones that cost like hundreds of rands for each pot. So I don't know. Maybe they just, have been used once or twice. I think the problem is not the person who bought this, but the person who sold this. If you sell pots like this and you try to make it sound like they are new or they're in good condition, and then they arrive and they look like this shit, that is on you, not on the person who bought them.
Yeah.
Gareth, I don't agree there. I don't agree there. I do.
Can I tell you why I agree? Because there's this phenomenon, and I don't know if you guys have experienced it of late, where people who provide services have almost become nonchalant about their service. It's like you're not paying for this high quality thing or whatever it is that you're buying. I still want it to be of good quality. Like even Uber drivers now, they pretend like they're not serving you. Like, dog, I want to play my music. I'm paying you for this trip. I want it to be the way I want it to be. Fucking delivery people, they get your order wrong and it's your fault. Like I'm also always this, like, we don't have expectations anymore as consumers, where we can go like, no, actually, guy, I'm paying this much money. This is what I expect. If that's not it, you need to shape up or ship out, And I think it's hard to beat because there's so many options. The consumer knows that, and so does the provider. So it's just like, it has to be an internal thing where you're like, I want to sell good products, or I want to provide a good service because it's better than a bad one.
Ryan wants to know, look at the color of those pots. What on earth is she cooking in there?
Carrots. That's the meaning, I think. Orange. But I don't, unfortunately, I do not agree with you guys, because I believe in you get what you pay for. You always get what you pay for in life. And I see people corrected me and said 7 piece doesn't mean 7 pots. It means pots and lids together. So it's actually 4 pots and a couple of lids, 3 lids. So
but still, cheap.
Yeah, but I think that you get what you pay for. If you want to go like cheap, like there's certain times that you can go cheap with something, and there's certain times that you can't. Certain things are investments. Pots are investments. A good bed is an investment. You cheap out on your bed, you're gonna pay the price. You're gonna pay the price. I know people who cheaped out on their beds and they're just out here looking like Last of Us zombies. Every time they walk, you just hear creaking, and that's all you hear. Because that messed up. So the point is, you get what you pay for, And if you're going to cheap out, you're going to get the quality that you paid for. And unfortunately, that's just how the world works. If something's too cheap, you have to know that there's something wrong with it. We can't keep blaming the vendors. You have to know that you're getting what you paid for. I once bought jelly babies from a Pakistani shop that was so cheap. They're like R5, a big packet. And then I ate them and they literally tasted like poop. And I realized that, damn, I get what I paid for. You always get what you paid for. So you can't complain.
You learn that lesson very quickly, right? I mean, like if you don't do your due diligence, you're going to get scammed. I get that. But they also, there are lots of scammers out there. And frankly, I think those people should be ashamed of themselves, really.
Yeah.
Where do we
Right. I want to scare you guys. I want to frighten you just quickly. So I didn't know this is possible. I'm going to show you a video here of what happens, and then I'll explain it afterwards. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see this live. If you are listening, I'll explain it in the podcast after the video. Video is quick. It's like 12 seconds. So take a look at this, and then you tell me what you think of this after I've explained what it is with this.
I could have lived a much happier life not knowing that they can do that.
For anybody who didn't see it, what it was is there's a snake on the corner of a roof. Okay, so this is about 3.5-4 meters up, and the snake kind of looks over the corner of this roof, and then it jumps and it lands on the ground. 4-meter drop at least, and then it just slithers away. And the guy goes, I don't know about you, but I could have lived without knowing they could do that. The snake jumped. It jumped. It doesn't have legs. It just jumped. It hits the ground, and then it slithers away. And if snakes can do that, then they can jump into your windows. God alone knows where they can go. I mean, this is not a happy thing to have to see first thing in the morning. Someone sent that to me yesterday, and it freaked me the hell out.
Yeah, that's my take on. Thanks, Gareth.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I used to be terrified as a child of walking under trees because I always thought a snake would just attack me from a tree, because I heard green mambas and green tree snakes just attack people from trees in northern African countries and in Asia. So now you've just reignited that in me, Gareth, and I'm not going to sleep for a couple of days. So
now, while we're talking about things that can bite you, here is a very useful bit of information from a guy. I think he's from Malawi, but have a listen to this. It's all about mosquitoes. Are you ready?
Mr. Zuzua, what do you call mosquito in your language? We don't call them. They just come and bite.
So the guy asks him, what do you call mosquitoes in your language? And he goes, no, we don't call it them. They just come when they just come and they bite. We don't have to call it them. So,
hey, you don't even need any time. They just come.
All right, very, very sad news. I was scouring the internet yesterday, and I came across this terrible, terrible, sad post. And I know we were talking about how we're not going to cry and we're not going to be all about sub stories, but this is from the Vagina Museum. So very important. I didn't even know there was a Vagina Museum. They said, sad news. We've received notice to vacate our premises at Bethnal Green by the end of the week. As a property guardianship, we've always been aware that we may be asked to leave at very short notice. We're disappointed it has come so soon. So if you are in London and you were about to visit the Vagina Museum, they are not going to be there for very long. They have to leave by the end of this week. Very, very sad news. No more Vagina Museum in London. Just for those people who are going especially.
Vagina Museum, like the Queen Elizabeth I's pussy. Like, I don't understand what's happening in this museum.
Wait, whose vaginas are in there? Is it the royal family vaginas? Hey, Meghan Markle is getting a mold done. Hey. Whose vaginas
I don't know.
in there, Gareth?
I think all the wank.
You think all the what?
The wankers, the public masturbators.
Yeah, they go in there. I don't know. I don't know what they've got in the Vagina Museum, but I thought that was very sad nonetheless. Because I mean, wouldn't you be curious to just step in there if you saw a big sign saying Vagina Museum? You'd want to see what's in there, right?
Without doubt,
Yeah.
first thing I see that, dude. Yo.
Gareth, have you ever went to it? Because I know you've been to that side of the world a couple of times. Have you ever been to the Vagina Museum?
If I had, I would tell you, because you've asked some questions about what they've got in there, and I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but now we'll never find out because they've been thrown out, they've been evicted.
I want to know what their prized possession is in the Vagina Museum, like their Mona Lisa. Is it like whose vagina is it? Is it Kim Kardashian's or like I just really want to know what is their most expensive item?
Yeah.
And how exactly does it work? Is it like I don't understand. Is it like molds? Is it like little flashlights on the walls? Or are they like I don't know exactly how it works.
Let's Google it.
It's so weird. You just look at them.
Yeah, maybe you can touch. Who knows?
Can you touch, sample. It's important to know these things as well before you go.
Yeah.
Well, now you will never ever know because it's just gone. It's closed. It's finished forever. All right, a couple of questions here. Let's go to the comments. Someone says all vaginas are disappointed when things come too soon. That's hilarious. It's a medically based museum, says Donna. I don't know. I'm not sure. Harry's face will be in the museum because he's a big vagina. I think Boris Johnson's vagina is a hit at that museum. Somebody said their main exhibit is Tony Blair himself because he's a big vagina. I'm surprised that you know the date when they're leaving. I heard they were tight-lipped about the exit. Nice call. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, so sad news there about the Vagina Museum shutting down. I know lots of people were planning their trips to London just for that. So now that's not going to work. All right.
Absolutely scream. So, Gareth, and I want to actually share a bit about dating apps and give people a little bit of a perspective because we're coming into winter slowly but surely. The weather's been changing and it's going to be cold pretty soon. Before we know it, in about 4 months, it's going to be freezing and people need to keep each other warm. We have load shedding. So electric blanket is not too much of an option. Gas is great, but gas is expensive. It has it's expensive to get into gas. That's the problem. So I want to share a couple of fun facts about dating apps and just give people a little bit of a perspective of which dating app has the best success rate, according to me. So there's a couple of fun facts I want to share first. And the first one is, did you know that women are more likely to care about profile information than men? Men just look at your picture and that's how they make the decision. So that's kind of... we're very visual creatures.
Are you surprised by that, though? I think that sounds obvious to me. It's like I know lots of my friends who are on these dating apps. They basically just stop swiping when they see a nice picture. They don't even read the name. They don't care about the interests. They try to figure out. First of all, they want to know if the picture's real and if that person is not catfishing, and then they'll start talking to her.
Absolutely shocking. But did you also know that the number of dating app users grew to 323.9 million in 2021? So that is a lot of people. And that is 9% all people on the internet. So 19% of people on the internet are currently on an online dating platform. Very shocking. Another fun fact, LGBTQ users are twice as likely to use a dating app. According to Pew Research, 55% of the LGBTQ adults said they have used a dating app compared to 28% of the straight adults. This may not be much of a surprise, but the youngest folks who use the dating apps from 18 to 29 years old have a strong preference for Tinder. Tinder is the one for people between 18 to 29 years old. So it kind of makes sense because Tinder does have a playful style and a user preference for less serious flicks. In the app, the way it's built, you're swiping as if you're playing a game. Yeah, it's more for hookups. And then users between 30 and 64 years old prefer Match.com, a platform that's somewhat more serious than Tinder. Users over 65 prefer either eHarmony or religious dating sites such as JSwipe, tied at
Hang on.
4% each.
Hang on. What is eHarmony?
That is a good question. So eHarmony, I think it's a Christian dating site, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay,
I believe it's a
never
Christian
heard of
dating
eHarmony.
site.
Huh.
Here it is. Actually, it doesn't say anything about being Christian. Launched in 2000. Here it is. eHarmony is an online dating website launched in 2000. eHarmony is based in LA, California, and owned by Newcom e-commerce, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say anything about religion. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about religion, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, older people prefer eHarmony. I guess people there are just more relaxed. They're more harmonious and at peace with life in general.
All right.
So
eHarmony sounds really boring, right, Mark?
Yeah, I don't want to go.
Boring.
I don't want to go to eHarmony. I'm not a dating app person in general, but I wouldn't use that.
I mean, so far, this is not really surprising. So, I mean, if people are on Tinder, it's because they want to hook up, right? So there's probably people in their 20s. As they get to their 30s, they want to find someone because they're terrified of being alone, and they don't want to be single forever. Maybe they're desperate. Maybe they're lonely. So they start taking it more seriously. And then obviously eHarmony, whatever the fuck that is, that's for very old people who they just want some companionship. They don't want to, wander around in the house on their own, a nursing home on their own. Who knows? But that sounds like an old people thing. So, all right. So far, none of that's so surprising. I'm on your page.
So 19% of online dating users talk to 11 or more people at a time.
Sure.
So on average, they're talking to about 11 people. Makes sense. We're living in the connected age, and you always got to be on tap. You always got to be engaged with so many people in order to find that right one. And then some 42% of users aim for marriage by using online dating sites. When we consider how many people look at online dating sites as nothing serious, this is fairly surprising. It's a fairly surprising statistic because most people don't see it as serious. So, or perhaps that 42% is all on eHarmony. And then only 13% of users got engaged or married from meeting people they met on dating sites. And when it comes to dating sites these days, I judge couples by what dating site they met on. So this is MASH. This is how I consider it. And so number one, I'm going to start off with Tinder. Tinder is respectable, but it means you probably screwed a few times, and the person's genitals were probably in your mouth a couple of times before deciding to actually be together, to be an item. It has great potential for a decent relationship, though. And that's how you kind of know. You kind of know people's situations and how their trajectory has been coming along with these dating sites based on in their relationship, based on where they met.
Hold on.
So
you just skimmed past this thing that while people are on these dating sites, they're probably talking to 11 people at the same time. That's what you said.
11 people.
You just breezed past that like it wasn't a big deal. That's a big deal. That means that while you're on the dating site X and you're trying to start a relationship up with somebody, you've got another 10 people who you're talking to at the same time.
Yeah. She doesn't even have 11 colleagues. So how do I talk to 11 people? Well, actually, now that I think of it, lots of us do. Yeah, lots of people do. In fact, 11 is the minimum plus minus.
So according to Snae, eHarmony is a dating site for young professionals who are looking for a serious relationship.
Oh. Just the name sounds so boring, so I thought it might have been boring as well. But wow, very interesting. Very interesting. And then another platform is Bumble. Bumble is for people who are much more serious about meeting someone. Women are supposed to make the first move on this app, so the pressure is on for the ladies. This also means that the relationship won't last most likely because most of the time, and we live in this age where indoda must, and most women, they're willing to make that first move, but once in a relationship with someone, they're like, listen, hands off, you take the wheel from here. So that's the danger with that app. And as I was mentioning as well, lots of men are simps these days. Lots of men don't want to make any moves.
Right.
They want everything to be done for them. So the woman as well will want that as well. And then we just end up in this cycle of just talking on WhatsApp for the next 6 months. No dates,
I don't know.
meeting,
Okay,
nothing.
Mark, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I think we are way past the point where the man has to make the first move. I mean, look, some people want to be traditional about these things, and that's absolutely fine. But I don't think anybody's getting upset if the woman makes the first move. I don't think anybody needs to be like all serious and like sensitive about whether or not they were the first one to ask the other one. Doesn't matter, does it?
I'm in two minds about this one, because I do think the man should make the first approach, because it kind of affects the relationship afterwards. I think it's that lack of masculinity that the woman will understand if she approached you, because then she'd be like, oh, this guy didn't even have the guts to come up to me, even though he was attracted to me. That's a thing that it filters through the relationship, but subtly. But I don't mind if women approach me. It actually does happen. So I'm also okay with it. So that's why I'm saying I'm in two minds about that part. But the one that I absolutely refuse is a woman proposing to me. I can't.
Is that a thing?
If a woman proposes to me, I'll say no, just on the basis of the fact that you proposed. It means you're not my woman. You don't understand who I am. I think I should be the one to go down on one knee and say, do choose you as my woman for the rest of my life. That's the hard thing about the age that we live in now, I think, Gareth, is that there are still, these traditional elements just about being a human being that we've kind of forgotten in this new age. But I do think the man is the leader. I do think the man is supposed to provide. I do think he's supposed to show strength and protect. It's not that to say that women can't do these things, but it's like a good comedian that I like watching. He's Andrew Casino is new or something like that. Andrew something. But he's like, we do all these things for you, women. You guys have the most amazing job in the world. You get to give birth, which is the most incredible thing that a human being can do.
Right.
Now you want jobs too? Like, why? We do the jobs for you guys because we want to. Well, I feel like it's a way of showing respect for the crazy shit that you guys are doing. So yeah, I do think there's an element of the man must lead, but also I'm not going to say no to a woman saying she wants to jump my bones.
Well, I mean, okay. I misread that one then, because I thought it didn't matter too much to people, but obviously I was wrong. There are lots of people who they want to be the first to make the move. All right, so a few points here. Basitsana says, Tinder is so gross. 5 minutes into a conversation and you get sent a dick pic.
I've never been on Tinder.
No, not on Tinder. You can't send pics on Tinder. Not on Tinder. I know what app Basitsana is on, but it's not Tinder.
Right.
Yeah. I've been married for 8 years, says Gisela. If I were to find myself single again, I'd probably just get some more cats and stay that way. So much complication. Listen, it is tough. You need to know what's going on out there. I'm with Mark, says Basitsana. I'm not making the first move. Mark, you're weird, says Carl. When my wife went down on her knees, that's when when I knew she was the one.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then up next we have Hinge. Hinge is considered to be quite respectable because decent people, there's quite some decent people on there who are looking for people they'll chat with for a couple of weeks and most likely ghost after meeting once. That's what happens on such apps. The apps with the friendly people. We live in this generation of where people, I think everybody wants that dominant type of person. People want to be told what to do, it seems, these days, because if you don't, you'll just end up talking for the next 10 years. Up next, I think now we're getting into what I would consider Desperation City, and that is a Badoo. This app is for people who tried everything but had no luck. It's now time to throw in the towel and settle for someone they're not attracted to, just to fill a hole in their life left by constant pursuit of mediocre fairy tales. These people are generally sweet and will bend backwards for you while you contemplate whether you're in. Yeah.
What is this one called?
Badoo. Have you heard of it?
No, never.
It's Desperation City. It's like, Bona, you've tried them all, they've all failed, and it's time to just throw in the towel and settle for someone who will just pass time with you.
3 a.m. in
Basically,
the club, basically. It's 3 a.m. in the club. They're about to close.
it's 3 a.m. in the it's 3 a.m. at a club. I mean, I have a friend who went on a date with someone from this app, and
Sorry, Mark, we couldn't hear you. What was that?
I can't hear Mark.
It's 3 a.m. The lights have come on. You can actually see their face now, and you're like, ugh. But it's closing time. What am I gonna do? That's what this app sounds like.
Basically,
All right, Mash.
it's basically that. And then the last ones are Match.com, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, and JSwipe. I believe JSwipe is the Jewish one.
Yes.
JSwipe. Yeah, it is the Jewish one. And look, there's a massive variety of dating apps in the world, from the types of people who use online dating apps to the way they use them to what they expect from their potential matches. There are also plenty of online dating websites and apps that you can choose from. So making it easy to get into the dating world has become the priority more than anything. And there's levels to it, though, and people need to understand that as well. I was telling Ryan that there's levels to it. The app you're at kind of tells people where you're at mentally as well. Have you given up?
Well,
You just want to settle down? Are you ready to just have some fun, or what?
I feel bad for people who are on that last one you mentioned, that Badoo or whatever. That sounds
Yeah.
terrible. I mean, like if you're on there, like, you really are just, as you say, desperate. And who wants to be thought of as desperate? You know, that's just awful. Ugh.
Absolutely. My friend went on a date with someone from Badoo, and this guy actually video called his mother with her on their first date. So he was like, no, let's video call my mother. Let's video call. So I was like, yo, video called his mother. And I was like, yeah, I met a girl. Look, mom, I met a girl. And I was like, yeah. That's
sounds
how
like
you realize that. Basically. So, yeah, there's levels to this.
Right.
And when you get to a certain level, it's over for you.
Mark, thank you for joining us this morning. It's always good to have you on, and we love chatting to you and getting up to speed with what you've been doing. We'll catch up again soon, my friend. Nice to see you.
Such a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
There he is, Mark Mdluli, and he's always good value. Listen, you've upset me with these dating apps that are for desperate people. I mean, I feel so bad for them. Listen, I want to talk about a podcast that somebody told me about the other day. So I actually know this person. I also know her brother, and I know her mom as well. And I didn't know that she was doing a podcast. She's got a 360 Degrees Human podcast. That's what it's called, 360 Degrees Human. And it's like a place where I suppose you get to talk about what it is that makes you human. Each episode is like a holistic masterclass. This is according to the blurb there. Explored through natural conversation and storytelling, intends to uncondition and re-educate, inspire, and empower. So it caught my eye, and I thought we'd better check in with Gina. She's on the line. Hey, Gina, how are you?
Hey, Gareth. I'm good, and you? I'm quite amused from your previous conversation. Hi, guys.
I know. How desperate do some of those dating apps sound? I mean, it's really you should do an episode on that.
Well, you're doing it, Gareth, so I don't actually know. I don't think there's space for me. I'd have to find a holistic angle. I'm working on it as we speak.
All right, so tell us about your podcast, because we're always keen to find out about new podcasts, especially if they happen here in South Africa and someone's interviewing cool people. Who are you talking to, and what kind of stuff are you doing on your podcast?
So really the idea is, as you said, to create this holistic masterclass. So how I view it is that it's not an interview, it's really an education. That's where I'm coming from. The idea is that holism is not really a mainstream concept in a way, which is ironic considering that if you look at nature, everything about it is holistic. So as humans, we live very siloed lives. We separate our work life from our family life, from our personal life, from our health, from our financial abundance, whatever the case is. And so this is a platform to really bring everything together under one umbrella and ask how you do that. And the whole concept is what I'm calling to live whole. That's the idea. And what does it mean to live whole for all different people? For me, it's really, how do you align your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotional well-being? So
a lot of people use this word holistic, and you're the first one who's actually defined it for me. It's like you have to have your mind, your body, your spirit all kind of in the picture. You can't just focus on one of those. There are a lot of podcasts that do just focus on one of those. There are these fitness ones which are all about your physical being and your health, and then there are these ones that are about your mental health. I mean, we talk to Dr. Hanan here on the show once a week, but there isn't anyone really doing the whole picture. So is that the definition, and is that what you wanted to do from the outset?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as I was saying, we really do live these siloed existences. And so the idea behind holism is that it's really where different parts that are all interconnected, they can't be separated. So we're looking at the being as an entire whole, which kind of defines why I've called the overall, it's actually part of a company, which is 360 Degrees Human, because we are made up of so many parts. And so in this offering, I should say, is the opportunity to learn and be educated. So these are long form conversations. It's all around storytelling as well. So people, for me anyway, I love storytelling. It's the best way and experience. Those are the two ways that I actually take in information and learn how to really embody it in a sense. So I would say that it's part of a much bigger idea, and I've decided to launch it with a podcast offering, and then basically there will be things like masterclasses down the line, and live experiences. So this is really just the first step in a much greater concept, which is part of a vision that I've got to create a space for whole being.
Now, I mean, what caught my eye also is that I know your brother Adam, and he's one of these. He's a visionary. There's no other way to put it. And
he is. I taught him everything he knows, Gareth.
I've always enjoyed talking to your brother, because he is the guy who, he kind of revitalized the Joburg CBD, and I'm just mentioning one of the things that he's done, but he got that whole, what would you call it?
Urban regeneration, in a way.
Urban regeneration. He got that whole movement going in Johannesburg, and it was no small task. And everybody, when he said he was going to do it, everybody thought he was crazy, and he got it right. I mean, there are parts of Joburg now which are the coolest, trendiest places. There are people living in apartments that you would never have thought you'd have in the CBD. There are all kinds of facilities and galleries and really exciting things happening there, all as a result of your brother and his vision. And he's actually the first guest on your podcast. And people say, oh, well, that's nepotism. Why would you feature your brother on your first podcast? But he's an interesting dude.
Well, the reason why I actually did is because, and as I say, is that he obviously he has an incredible legacy that he's created, so far. But the truth is that his place has been earned. And so the people that I'm interviewing are what I call, on the one side, humanpreneurs, people who are making an impact in society, in their broader environment. And so for me, it was almost, it was also fun to interview Adam, because it was my first podcast interview, and we're so comfortable with each other. We work so well together as well, always. So, and I just felt that he had something very valuable to offer. He also comes from a very mindful perspective. He's a very conscious human being. So he is all encompassing as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I think his biggest fan. So there's that. But then to come are people who are in the movement space, who I call others who are spiritual wizards, others in the medical arena, in food and nutrition, in climate change, in nature, in design and architecture. So holism is so broad. It's just how we extrapolate those notions and offer them in a way that can be understood.
Who else are we going to hear from? What do you want to achieve with this podcast? I mean, you said it's part of a bigger picture.
Right, right. So at the end of the day, it is educational. So where can you take extracts of this and actually integrate them into your life? And the important word there is integration. So like I said, there will be things to come in future where people can actually have a hands-on experience of how that integration works. But who's next is Brett Thompson, and Brett is part of a company called Mzansi Meat, and Mzansi Meat are the first cultivated meat company in South Africa. I'm not going to share any more because it's really exciting about how they are saving animals and how they are still being able to produce prime cuts of meat. Then there is Gees de Necker, who is a holistic dentist, which is incredible because he looks at the entire body instead of just isolating your mouth or the teeth in your mouth or the nerve ending in your mouth. So it's how your body works as a system, as a very integrated system in order to determine your health. There's Keith McFarlane, who came up with Rebound SA, which is an incredible, I don't know if you've experienced it, but I definitely recommend it. It's a little trampoline actually. And it's used to create flow in your lymph system. So all of these things are tools and means. Do you know it?
Yeah, well, we actually had a guest on the show, and she was doing it every week, and she said it's been the most amazing experience, and she feels so much better, and I can believe it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, just as a reference, Tony Robbins, amongst many others, use it continuously, and every time before he goes on stage. I'm assuming you all know who Tony Robbins is, but just for your audience, he's a master motivational speaker, and more than motivation, but inspiration. Anyway, so these are the things, but there's also I have a really big network, both locally and internationally, which I'm going to handpick along the way. I'm just really getting the wheels turning for the moment and finding who I believe are people who can really add value to an individual's lives, which can then ripple effect into their own ecosystem. So what I call it is you work with your inner ecosystem, which we've just discussed, and then your outer ecosystem, which is how does the space around you actually impact your daily living experience? How do you design your life? So I'm also an architect and a designer, and 360 is part of a think tank as well. So how can we actually create spaces that help you live into your whole being?
I love it. It's called 360 Degrees Human, and Gina Levy is the host, and she can be found. We can find this on all the podcast servers, everywhere everyone finds the podcast.
Apple, Spotify, Google. We've also got a live outdoor event called Rooftop Retreats, which is every second month in Cape Town on different rooftops. And so we have movement experiences and breathwork experiences, sound journeys, etc. And that's rooftop_retreats. And the podcast is on 360.degreeshuman. So beautiful. That's on Instagram, and the rest is on our website, 360degrees.human. Something like that.
We'll attach all the links on our site.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me, Gareth, and see you soon, maybe at some family gathering, or who knows, extended family gathering, I should say. That was quite amusing. And thanks for having me on the show.
No worries. Nice
Cheers,
to you.
hey. Bye.
Wow. Always good to find out who's doing what. Mash, we were talking the other day about all these Hong Kong solar installers and these people who are now suddenly in the solar business because there seems to be such a desire, obviously, to get off the grid and to not be dependent on Eskom. Well, someone sent me this, and then Ryan put it up for us. Emily, 29 years old, Johan, inverter and solar installer. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, this is so accurate. This is accurate. Gareth, I actually put up a TikTok the other day, and I was like, hey, you people with inverters, like, put us on, because it's getting difficult. And one thing I keep saying in the office in particular is that we can't complain anymore. We need to shut the hell up and start coming up with solutions for ourselves. We have to be accountable for ourselves now, because nobody else will be.
No one's going to do it.
So I actually went on a mission. I was like, listen, I have to start seeing someone with an inverter. It's very important. I can't get one. I'm in an apartment. So might as well see someone with one. You see? Because that way, it's not even about seeing someone who's on a different load shedding schedule, because that was the previous target. That was the previous goal. See someone on a different load shedding schedule so that when I have load shedding, I can go there and vice versa. But now it's like inverter.
No use. It's no use seeing someone on the same load shedding schedule as you. Otherwise, you're still in the dark. That's no good. Yeah, that's no good.
Just in the
By
dark
the way,
all the time.
another big problem that we're experiencing, and I saw this yesterday and I thought it was a joke, but apparently it is a real problem in Joburg. There are people who are putting pictures on the internet now of the water coming out of their taps, and it is blue in Johannesburg. So this is from Ndombi M, and she actually took a picture of the water that is straight out of her tap. It looks scary. It looks like something. Water should not be that color.
Nothing should be that color.
Huh?
No.
I mean, it's very pretty. It's very pretty. It's like a sapphire blue, but I don't think you should be drinking that.
It also has some bubbles in it, like a few bubbles in it. It's definitely not healthy. I don't know what chemical could have caused that, because I'm trying to think of the water filtration and cleaning process, and I don't think there's anything blue involved in it. So I'm very shocked.
It's not good. Whatever that is, it's not good. So if you've got blue water, and if you know this is true, if this is really happening to you, then please let us know. I mean, it sounds bloody awful. All right, so here's some questions. Seven Kenya says, where's Leanne? She was not on yesterday. She's going to be on tomorrow, so don't panic about that. Ryan says, also the water schedule. I haven't had water for 3 days. Oh, Ryan, you have to. That's where you got to join a gym, and you've got to go and shower. That's what you must do.
Yeah, I've been telling Ryan, gym is where it's at. You can shower and do 10 other things all at the same time. You can have breakfast there. You can live there.
Vyasin says that blue stuff looks like free Kool-Aid. And then Jared says, Gareth, yes, I woke up fucking horny. Wow. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's always good to know. Yeah,
Profound.
really useful information. Everything is price tagged lately, each their own. I'm an old school and I'm not ashamed of it when it comes to personal relations, not ignorant of what's going on either, says Zach. I think that's to do with, people who are obviously, trying to find ways around load shedding and everything else. My water is fizzing, says Dumi. Oh my God, Dumi, do not drink it.
Sure, so it's like a little soda stream from your tap. That's very worrying. Very worrying. I haven't actually I had some water. My water is fine this morning, thank goodness. I haven't experienced any load shedding thus far. But I am with you, comrades. We'll go strike together eventually. We'll go strike together.
I'm being corrected on my pronunciation. 7, it's Canai. 7 Canai. Okay. Well, I mean, you want to spell your name like that, you must expect it to be mispronounced. Sorry.
Yeah. Just expect
all right.
that.
One quick last thing. These self-help books. I hate these self-help books. They all seem to be saying the same thing. And they're these. I don't know if you've seen people reading these. I've seen a lot of social media posts from people that they're reading these books by this guy called Thomas Erickson. Have you seen these books?
Yeah, I see these books all the time, like The Secret.
So it's surrounded by narcissists, surrounded by idiots, surrounded by psychopaths, surrounded by setbacks. And someone posted this. I thought it was a very good point. Jana said, has it occurred to Thomas Erickson that he might be the problem? Because he's constantly surrounded by all these disasters, and clearly this is his life. I think if you're reading all these books, it might be you. You might be the issue.
Yeah.
Right?
As Taylor Swift best said it, it's me. I'm the problem. Yeah.
There we go. And she really is the problem. Zach says, my sister's pool looked like lemon twist in December, and everybody thought I was being too snobbish, refusing to swim in that shit. Listen, we talk about people with their dirty houses and cockroaches, when you started the show this morning, Mash. But there are people who have disgusting, dirty pools, and then they want you to swim in them. I mean, they're dark green, they're yellow in color. It's not good. And I'd rather not swim than get into water that I can't see the bottom of the pool.
Gareth, I saw so many of these people this past December. They were just posting pictures, posing. They're like in the pool, like, yay. And I was like, damn, that water's so green. You're swimming with frogs. There could be a damn crocodile in that water. You wouldn't know. And it was disgusting. And I actually quoted one of the tweets. There was actually one picture from a Pretoria public swimming pool where the water was actually pretty green, and the pool was packed. People are all just jumping in there and swimming. Families, grown people, young people. And I quoted this, and I came up with some scientific fact. And I was like, y'all just do with this information as you will, but you're gonna get sick if you have a cut.
I'm very sorry. Like, I just don't think it's right that people, if you have a dirty ass pool, I'm not impressed, and no one should be swimming in that. Sorry, it's just not on.
Yeah, and also if you swim in that, I am more worried about your mental state of mind and your standards as well. I'm very analytical of that stuff, because certain things that people do tell you a lot about them and the way they think of themselves. So nope, we're not doing that. We are not doing that.
Please let us not be swimming in dirty, filthy pools, if you don't mind. I would prefer us not to be doing that. Thank you very much.
Please. Yeah. And Gareth, I remember actually yesterday, rather, on the show, Lebang outed me for driving auto. I recall.
Oh yes. You want to deal with that. I don't blame you. It's about time. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mash.
Yeah. So for people who didn't watch the show yesterday, Lebang just outed me that I drive an auto car, and she was very shocked by that, because she's like, wow, what's with you young people and just buying auto cars? You never drive manual, so you never get to experience it and be connected and engaged in the driving experience as you are in a manual car. Now, you guys can watch yesterday's show to see that, but I'm going to address it now. And Bon Lebang, I know Lebang's watching. She might not be commenting today, but
sure.
The reason why is because we don't like struggle. I don't like struggle. And I feel like many people these days don't like struggle. Most of the big companies, most of the big car manufacturers, especially the German ones, they don't even make manual cars anymore. There is a reason for that, Gareth. And as young people, we don't want struggle. We want things to be as convenient as possible. And we know that things are changing as well. I know a lot of people have trouble with accepting that, because they feel like, no, you must still change gears. And I saw a TikTok about this the other day, and some lady was like, listen, whenever I see a manual car, I just think struggle. I just think.
I get you. I mean, why, life is full of enough hardships. Why would you also want to add like something that you don't need to really worry about? I mentioned yesterday, there are a lot of people who are growing up who've never driven a manual car, and they don't care. So why should the rest of us who think we're superior just because we learned to drive in a manual car? Doesn't make a difference. Actually, you're not better. It's easier for people to drive automatic. I've driven both. I don't mind.
Yeah. I can drive both as well. And can you just imagine being a first-time driver with that manual car at a steep incline, and the robot just turned green, and it's like 7 a.m. in Sandton on like William Nicol or something at an uphill. And you are just freaking out. You're trying to clutch, control, balance, what, and you're struggling with that. And people start hooting at you. The robot turns orange and turns red again while you're still trying to get your shit together. That kind of struggle. And yes, it's for beginners, but even later on in life, it still happens to some people. I've seen that before.
I saw a middle-aged man who stalled his car, doing exactly what you just described now. And it's still embarrassing, even if you've been driving for years.
It's the most humiliating thing. So just avoid all that hassle, all that hardship, and just get yourself an auto. Just get yourself an auto. I feel like, and I found,
The thing you were saying now that makes it different and that I like is that you said you can drive a manual car, but you've chosen not to struggle, which I think is great.
Exactly. Yeah, my license is manual. Everything's manual. I actually learned to drive in manual cars. And just convenience. Life is about convenience. And one thing I always say to everyone that I meet is that, you know why people work hard? They work hard for comfort. That's why people work hard. We don't work hard for money. We work hard for comfort. That's why the most comfortable things in life cost more. You want a car with ventilated seating. You want a car with heated seating, heated steering wheel. you're going to pay more for that. That's what we're working towards in life. From your house to your bathtub to what bathing products you use. It's all based around comfort. Your cell phone, the more money you spend, the easier it is to use. Comfort. That's what we're working towards. So I need Lebang to understand that, as well as everybody to understand that.
I hope she's listening. I hope she's paying attention this morning, because you've explained it very well. I can't argue with you. I think it makes a lot of sense. Sandile says, I was once a purist, but having dealt with Joburg traffic for the last 13 years, we need to burn, or I think maybe he means ban or burn, all manual cars. So yeah, I agree. I hope manual driving doesn't get outlawed. I don't think anyone's going to outlaw it. I don't think you need to worry about that. Yeah. All right. Enough of this fun for one morning. We will see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Have an excellent day, everybody. Be good.